Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Saturday the 10th of June. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments and share the video with your family and friends.
Reach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. 80-year-old Daniel Rowe, who was abducted from Brayton Primary and Infant School in Portmore, St. Catherine, and had her throat slashed, has died. She succumbed to her injuries at the hospital on Saturday morning. Senior Superintendent Christopher Phillips, head of the St. Catherine South Police Division, confirmed the news. Investigations into the incident are ongoing, with several statements collected on Friday. The grade 2 student was discovered by a member of the Jamaica Defense Force on Roosevelt Avenue in St. Andrew, who rushed her to the Bustamante Hospital for children. Unconfirmed reports are that a female had arrived to collect the children from the school, took them outside, placed them in a car, and drove away. The child's mother, who was on her way to pick her up, was delayed due to the rain. Rowe is the daughter of a serving Jamaica Constabulary Force member assigned to the St. Catherine South Police Division. During an attack by gunmen at a plaza in Duane Park, one man was shot and killed while two others were injured. The deceased has been identified as 33-year-old Junior Barrett from 3rd District. The incident occurred after 4 p.m. when Barrett was sitting outside a barber shop in the Duane Park Plaza. Men approached the location and opened fire, hitting Barrett multiple times. Two other men who happened to be passing by were also shot and injured. The victims were taken to hospital where Barrett was pronounced dead. The other two individuals were admitted for medical treatment. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. A 49-year-old delivery driver was arrested at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James on Thursday after 5 kilograms of cocaine were discovered in his luggage. The man, believed to be from Tronton, St. Elizabeth, is facing charges under the Dangerous Drugs Act. According to reports from the Narcotics Police Division, the man was attempting to board a flight to London when detectives stopped him and conducted a search of his luggage around 3 p.m. The search revealed the drugs, valued at over 29 million Jamaican dollars, concealed in his luggage. The identity of the suspect is being withheld pending further investigations. A 26-year-old man named Akeem Smith, also known as Macra, was shot and killed in Norwood, St. James, on Friday night shortly after arriving home. His girlfriend, who was in the vehicle with him, sustained an undisclosed injury while attempting to escape the attack. The incident occurred around 11:45 p.m. when a group of armed men targeted Smith and his girlfriend on Water Lily Crescent in Norwood. Smith suffered gunshot wounds and was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The injured woman is currently receiving medical treatment. A taxi operator was shot during a robbery on Hope Boulevard in St. Andrew on Friday afternoon. The incident occurred around 12:40 p.m. when the taxi operator picked up a passenger in the Papine area. Upon reaching Hope Boulevard, the passenger brandished a gun and demanded money. A struggle ensued, resulting in the taxi driver being shot in the leg. The injured driver was quickly taken to hospital for medical treatment. A designated room for sexual acts and the top-tier leaders having multiple wives have been major areas of focus for the police, who led a joint military operation at the Quahala Yahweh Church compound at Paradise in Montego Bay, St. James on Wednesday morning. In addition, the head of the Area 1 headquarters, Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers, says a girl who was forced into marriage at age 16 on the compound in 2019 did not get any consent from her parents. The existence of the sex room was confirmed by a 33-year-old former leader of the religious group. The individual, who lived on the compound for 5 years and has since moved back to the Cayman Islands, returned to Jamaica earlier this week just so he could file an official report with the police. The man said he was gifted a wife who was 1 month shy of her 18th birthday after he was appointed a leader at age 29 in 2017. He said that 2 other leaders have taken unto themselves 8 wives. No other leader is allowed more than 1 wife, he stated. He said the sex room was only used by married couples, but the children on the compound knew exactly what was happening, and there were times when semen would be left on the beds and those who did not have clean sheets to spread would be forced to use the area. The small room, he said, was where procreation by minions took place, while the leaders had their own lodging where they would have sexual intercourse with their wives. If someone was using the room, you had to wait, and if the leaders were having sex with their partners, the other women would walk the compound. According to the man, there are 5 rooms on the main building of the compound. Within each room are several bunk beds. The space was so tight, some people would become miserable, many opting to sleep on the floor at night. The beds, he said, are 5 feet in length and approximately 3 feet wide. Over 100 residents lived on the compound. The idea and philosophy behind the compound was to have it as a communal setting, where every family have their own room, but they could not manage the expense of construction, so they stuck everyone in one place, coupled with the fact that the religious group leaders started referring to themselves as gods, forcing their disciples to pray to them instead of Yahweh. The man says being kept against their will was one of the main issues he had. He described it as trafficking of people. During the court proceedings for a 67-year-old Assessor Walters, a guest house operator in St. Anne, it was revealed by a police detective that the woman accusing him of rape and other sexual-related offenses has allegedly made similar claims against men in 4 other parishes under different names. The woman, identified as a 44-year-old chemical and nuclear specialist from Florida, accused Walters of entering her room at the Ocherius property and sexually assaulting her. However, Walters denies the allegations, claiming that the woman was attempting to blackmail him for free accommodation. The detective also stated that the woman has made similar reports in other parishes, including Trelawney, Westmoreland, St. James, and the St. Catherine North Division. The case involved multiple witnesses, and further investigations are ongoing. A caregiver who witnessed the murder of Kenneth Downer, a retired public health inspector and the Justice of the Peace, has been arrested by the St. Anne police. The woman, reportedly closely associated with the Downer family, was taken into custody on Thursday as part of the investigation into the fatal shooting of the 90-year-old retiree. Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, head of the St. Anne Police Division, confirmed the arrest but noted that the investigation is currently in a sensitive phase. The primary suspect in the murder was apprehended on Tuesday in St. Anne's Bay. Downer was killed during an attempted robbery at his home in Huntley District in the Brownstone area on the 1st of June. 2 additional individuals have been arrested in connection with a series of multi-million-dollar robberies targeting private security company Beryllium Limited. Senior Superintendent Cleon Marsh of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's Criminal Investigations Branch confirmed the arrests and stated that interviews were being conducted with the suspects and their attorney. The specific details of the incidents related to the arrest have not been disclosed. Over the past year, Beryllium's courier teams have been attacked in at least 5 separate incidents, resulting in significant cash losses. The robberies occurred during attempts to service automated teller machines at various locations. The company has implemented a specialized investigation team to combat the criminal groups involved in these attacks. The government is also taking steps to amend the Private Security Regulation Authority Act to enhance the training and equipping of security officers in response to these incidents. A shooting incident in Freehill, St. Anne, resulted in the death of 26-year-old Nathaniel Comock, a laborer, while another man sustained injuries. The incident occurred around 9:20 p.m. when gunmen attacked Comock and the other man while they were standing in the community. Residents notified the police and both victims were taken to the hospital where Comock was pronounced dead and the other man admitted. The police are currently conducting investigations into the incident. An unidentified man was found stabbed to death in Ocherius, St. Anne on Saturday morning. The man, estimated to be in his 40s, was discovered by residents around 2:45 a.m. Police arrived at the scene near Burger King and found the body lying in a pool of blood with what appeared to be stab wounds to the head. According to a police source, witnesses reported seeing the man running from the area of the Ocherius post office with blood on his face before collapsing on the sidewalk. The investigation into the incident is ongoing. In business, Mayberry Investments has provided an update on the cyber attack that affected the company. The investment firm stated that it now has full access to all its data, some of which was compromised in the ransomware attack. Ransomware is a type of cyber attack that restricts access to a system or its data and demands a payment or a ransom for access to be restored. Mayberry confirmed that no ransom has been paid. The company notified all affected clients and ensured that business operations continued normally. In the region, a study conducted by the Inter-American Development Bank (IDB) revealed that the value of exported goods from Latin America and the Caribbean experienced a year-on-year growth rate of 2.9% in the first quarter of 2023. This growth follows a substantial increase of 16.4% in exports during the previous year. While the region's trade performance outperformed the global average, exports face a notable slowdown due to lower commodity prices and decreased export volumes. The IDB's Trade Trends Estimates report highlights potential risks on the horizon, including the impact of tight monetary policies on global growth, uncertainties related to the war in Ukraine, the diminishing expansionary effects of China's reopening economy, and the reversal of the upward trend in commodity prices. On the international scene, a mass shooting in San Francisco's Mission District left 9 people injured on Friday night, but authorities expect all victims to survive. The San Francisco Police Department stated that the shooting appeared to be targeted and isolated, with no known threat to the public. The incident occurred during a party hosted by a clothing store near 24th Street and Treat Avenue. The clothing store, Dine Breed, was celebrating its 6th anniversary with a block party. And in sports, Manchester City secured their first ever Champions League title after defeating Inter Milan 1-0 in Istanbul on Saturday. Rodri scored a decisive goal in the 68th minute, leading City to a treble of trophies this season as they were crowned English Premier League champions and FA Cup winners. Despite losing Kevin De Bruyne to an injury in the first half, City emerged victorious. The triumph fulfilled the club's long-standing ambition of conquering European football, marking Pep Guardiola's 3rd Champions League victory as a coach. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.